Okay, just the other day, the Lava Potion team released the roadmap for the end of 2022, the beginning of 2020, well, I guess just 2023 in general, for Songs of Conquest and what that looks like. So today we're going to be going through this roadmap. We're going to be having some fun discussing about what this team has in mind. If you have not yet played Songs of Conquest, you absolutely need to. It is on Steam Summer Sale as of, I think, just yesterday or the day before. It went 25% off. It is still in early access, but it's a very feature complete early access. You can find a really sweet ass review of it on Zeth's channel. He just did one like I think a day or two ago, so you can go ahead and check that out. But let's go ahead and go through this here. I've talked to the team at Lava Potion, so I'm really excited about what they have planned for us for the future. So we're gonna look at Imminent. Then we're going to look at during 2022. Then we're going to look at during 2023. So let's take a look here at the roadmap for this game. And I want to know right now, you go ahead and tell me in the comment section below, what faction are you playing the most? Are you playing Loth? Are you playing Baria? I want to know. Which of the four are you locked into? Are you playing all sorts of Arleon? Are you playing the Rana? I want to know. What's your favorite? My personal favorite one, it used to be Loth. Loth was the one I was playing the most, but I think I just jived the most with Arleon. So go ahead and let me know in the comment section. That's like the poll of the day. What is your favorite faction in Songs of Conquest? And let's talk about what is imminently being released for the game. And they're looking at some multiplayer improvements. Simultaneous turns are coming. Control hostiles during combat, which I think will be so fun. Because right now the multiplayer for the game is great, but it's kind of bare bones in the same way that it was for, like, say, Heroes of Might and Magic and all that action, where it's like, oh, you know, you could do hot seat back then and all that stuff, where it was like, oh, this is blowing my mind. But now, you know, we're in the year 2022, having stuff like simultaneous turns, controlling the hostile to really harass your opponent, forced quick battle options, more gameplay during opponent's turn, stuff like that, I think really kind of cracks this game open. And rather than it kind of feeling like a rehashed version of something from the olden days, it feels like a tried and true, truly unique thing from that is brought up in 2022 versus, of course, like I said, something that came out in like 96. God damn, when did Heroes 1 and 2 come out? I remember when Heroes 1 came out, played at my fucking friend's house, and like we stayed up all night, and by the standards of me being a child, all night was like 11 p.m. We're like, we're gonna get in so much trouble, but god damn, I love that game. Either way, campaign difficulty settings, because the game only has one setting currently, one new skirmish map. So the skirmish map might be a map that Lava Potion showed me that I said, you know, this would be a really cool way to just have some really fun hero on hero battles. And if that is the case, that's the one they're going to be releasing. My good friend Turn and I will definitely start doing some tournaments with Songs of Conquest, because it's a great way to just say, okay, they're going to do a setup phase and we're going to jump into some tournament play where it's just two heroes squaring off with an army that they get a little bit of setup time to do, and they get to fully kit out their characters. So we'll see if that's the map. But it could be a really fun way to play the game. More languages, though, for traditional Chinese, Korean, and Turkish. Also, though, continuously kind of across all three, they're looking at AI improvements, UI and UX, and tutorial improvements, better mod support, more skirmish maps, bug fixes, and optimization. So those are some big things that they'll be working across all three of these sections. But let's now jump into the rest of 2022 and what they have on the horizon. And the big first one here is a random map generator. And this is something that a lot of people have requested either on the Discord, or if I'm streaming the game, people have asked, hey, does the game have a random map generator? And having spoken to Lava Potion, they were saying, well, yeah, we were originally working on one, but we didn't think it was something that people actually wanted. So we kind of, we worked on it and we said, okay, well, we'll add it after the game comes into early access. And they were saying like, wow, we're surprised at how in demand that feature is. So now they're definitely looking at bringing it into the game. And that's something I really love about Lava Potion, is that as it's a small team, it's a really small team, guys. And they have responded so well to community feedback on stuff they want added to the game, improvements they want made for things that they didn't even think they needed to improve upon because they weren't looking at it from the scope of like, okay, we're developers, we're basically developing this in a vacuum, right? They don't have a large sample pool to say, hey, we want these changes made to the game. So this level of feedback for them really, really helps out. Bug reports, jumping onto their Discord and leaving feedback in their feedback section. They read it, they look at it, they take it very critically. They add it to like a whole list of feedback to look at and say, well, this is the things that are really requested the most. So please make sure you continue to submit bugs if you are in early access right now, and you continue to submit any kind of feedback. And I know if you really want to help give back to the team, they've said that the biggest way to really help them is by just leaving a Steam review. Good, bad, meh, whatever it is, getting as many Steam reviews out there helps them to kind of get a little bit more, I guess, optics on their game. That's such a fucking corporate word to say. What a shill-ass bitch I am. But still, nonetheless, making sure that you do that really does help them out. They said that's like the biggest way to help give back to them. But they're looking at one new campaign for Loth or Baria. So right now, the way the campaigns work is that one campaign, the campaigns are focused. So the first campaign is focused with Arleon, and the second campaign is focused with Rana. But your antithesis to your opponent is the other of the two factions. So Arleon and Loth are kind of directly opposite to one another, because Loth is a barony of Arleon, and then Baria is in direct opposition to Rana. So that's how they've kind of done their campaigns, and they're saying, hey, the new campaign will be Loth or Baria during 2022. They're saying that is coming in 2022. They have a map editor with UX UI facelift coming, battle improvements, more wielder spells, and probably the coolest thing about the game with the spell system is you can cast every single spell. You just have to have the means to generate the mana to do so, which I love. More unit traits and abilities, which is very fun. Richer siege battle experience. Right now it's a little watered down. It's pretty much, hey, you've got things that are permanently in your way and that's it. Multiplayer improvements. So again, simultaneous turns update. Lobby facelift and update, because it gets pretty bare bones right now just to kind of get you into the lobby and having some fun. A turn timer to add a little bit of heat when you are playing against your buddies or any kind of competitive thing or situation. Codex content update to just help you break into the game and learn a little bit more about stuff. Jesus, I swear to God I can read. Accessibility improvements, and then more languages, Japanese. So that is all the stuff that is coming until the end of the year. Of course, with a roadmap, be fair, assume that some of these things might push into 2023. Some things from 2023 might get worked on and finalized in 2022. This is just to give you a general idea of what's coming and how the game is progressing across the remainder of the year. But let's look now into what is coming in 2023. With that, we have another new campaign, Loth or Baria. We have a map editor finalized. They have co-op skirmish gameplay with teams. So right now, co-op is in beta. You can turn on a co-op mode to do some kind of beta fun action with that, and it's kind of very heavily experimental right now. It's in the options menu. You go into gameplay and you can see it and just turn it on. But that looks like it's going to be getting a big pass in 2023 as far as a focus goes. More neutral units and hostiles. So more neutral units would be an example here is when you're looking at the map, the units that you see are just other factions units. So this would be more neutral units that are not allied with a specific faction, and they're just kind of hostile things. If you want to correlate this a one-to-one, you can kind of think of it as talking about the elementals from Heroes of Might and Magic, right? You have all the elementals, which are not necessarily aligned to any faction. They're just there. Stuff like that, just to kind of give you perspective on what that means. More AI customization settings to kind of tool how you want them to interact with you in the game. And then also achievements, as well as artifact item sets, which a lot of people have asked and requested, or asked if they're even in the game. Like, hey, are our item sets there? They are now going to be working towards that in 2023. And I guess as part of 2023, I guess we'll talk about this portion in the lower right about factions. New factions are highly requested, and we always wanted to add more of them, but they are very time consuming to produce. We want to do it, but we are not sure if it fits within the early access period. So people that are asking for new factions, hey, add more, add more, add more. You can see right there, they're pretty much saying like, we'd love to, takes time. Let's work on the things that we need to work on first, make a game a little bit more complete, and then we'll add more on top of it. Because, I mean, we've seen plenty of games add too much content before the game feels solid, and then you kind of have this like messy spaghetti of random features and implementations that you have to fix and balance on top of new feature sets you've built into the game. So that's kind of like the catch-22 of an early access. You either have an early access that goes through a process of constantly stabilizing and getting better, or you have an early access that is, from the most part, very stable and strong. I'll say Valheim was pretty strong at its start, and the early access process has been feature additions. So we'll kind of see how that plays out across early access. It sounds like we might get that happening, a new faction or two or whatever, or it might just wait until full launch of the game. But let that be known in the comment section below too. What do you guys think? Do you want the game to feel more solid before early access before new factions come in? Do you feel like the game is solid enough that a new faction could come in, quote unquote, tomorrow, and you'd be totally fine with it? You wouldn't feel like the game is missing a bunch of crucial factors when it comes to balancing and current like improvements like battle and multiplayer improvements and whatnot. But let it be known in the comment section below. But as always, guys, I just wanted to go over the roadmap here for Songs of Conquest. It's cool. It's crucial. It's always nice to kind of see any game that hits early access releasing some form of roadmap so you know what early access really kind of includes. I do not believe that they gave us an actual time frame on what early access looks like, as far as is it going to be a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 years? I don't think it's going to be anywhere near any of those latter numbers, probably 1 or 2 years, if anything. But again, just wanted to keep everyone up to date on Songs of Conquest, on that early access roadmap. We will continue to cover the game on the channel as always. We'll hit these major patches, talk about these multiplayer improvements, so it's skirmish map, all that kind of fun stuff. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to comment, like, and or subscribe, all that fun action if you are enjoying this style of content. I'm going to be starting to do more general game news on the channel. So big hot button topics, stuff like that. Like, hey, Starfield released a new trailer. Let's talk about this, stuff like that. This way I can talk about a lot of things that I personally find very interesting in the gaming world, but and that I want to share with you guys. So you can let me know if that's something you're interested in, that's something you want to hear about, or if you're just like, I don't give a shit, man. I watch IGN for all my cutting edge news. Who does? No one does. No one does that. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.